This is my daily update for my build and public log. It's February 13th, 2025. I'm excited. I have a demo. I've been working the last day and a half on... I'm trying to figure out if it's one agent or two agents, but a YouTube summarizer / chapter maker / transcription downloader. I'll get to that in a bit. Now that I have like the foundation laid for making my AI agent API service, you know, I have a base foundation. I have a framework. I have a way to add them, add an endpoint, and run them. Now that I have kind of the foundation laid, it's so much faster to build a new agent using AI. Yesterday's video, I talked a lot about moving really fast with Cursor. If you give it the right docs, the right prompt, the right context, and the right guidance, it could spit something out very quickly. So I did that yesterday, and I actually recorded my screen while I set that up, and I'm not going to share it. It's very rough, and you know, my hair is a mess. It's very dirty. It's like very rough and dirty. But I'm thinking about doing that for the next one. Maybe even live streaming it. So if you're interested in that and you want to see me go from zero to an agent that's kind of actually working, maybe I'll live stream it. Let me know in the comments. Please put live stream, and I'll do it. Fuck it, why not? So, how far did I get? Obviously, it's not 100% done. You know, it needs a little bit more work than one day. But I have a demo, and it's actually working. It's shockingly working. Not shockingly. Shockingly well, let's put it that way. Let's put it that way. In such a short time. Okay, so for having something interesting to show, I thought I would do it at NA10, because that's one thing I want to support with my service, and I'm actually trying to just fit this into a workflow, to an NA10 workflow with an agent. I showed this in a video a couple days ago. I'm scrambling to automate as much as I possibly can for my build and public daily updates, because next week I'm probably going to be pretty busy with the freelance project. Maybe. I still actually don't know, which is a little frustrating. It's kind of hard to plan, but that's the way it goes. So this is not how I want this to look. I want there to be like one node that you like, you know, I want all of this to happen in one node. So you just drop one little node in, but that's for later. So what is this doing? Very straightforward. It does a post, and you give it a YouTube video. You can just do the ID, but whatever. This is like the most simplistic example. You can just say, here's a YouTube video, give me all the things. So remember, it's like a long running thing, and this one's very heavy with doing all the things. I'm thinking about having more than one agent because it's so much, but it takes about a minute. It could take up to a minute. So you have to pull or have a webhook. So I could actually set that up where there is the post, and then it just sits there and it waits for the webhook to come in, and then it does the thing. But for this example, for now, and because I need more work on the webhook stuff that's not completely ready, it's gonna pull. So this is the get request to pull, and so this gets a job ID, and it just like keeps pulling. Hey, is it ready? Is it ready? And this basically just checks, like, if it's not failed and it's still active and it's still running, then it goes here and it waits for 2 seconds. Then it calls it again, and then if it's done, if it's completed, then it no ops, and I can just go click in here and see it. So this is a real demo. This is actually calling the API. Let's see if this works. You know how, I don't know, it doesn't usually go well with the demo. Did that work? Why did it fail? See what I mean? Okay, so I don't know what happened there. I need to look into that. This is, I kind of lied. This is actually running on my local machine. It's not actually like I'm pointing this at my local, so it's a little janky, especially when I make a code change. It kind of like gets in a weird state, and in production, you're not changing the code and resetting everything. So I need to figure that out. Something I still don't want that to happen. Anyways, look at that. That actually was not very long. That was only 21 seconds. So not bad. But in my defense, locally, I'm caching things because I need to test. So, okay. First, let's just look at what it outputted, and then I'll get to that. So, for now, I'm building this thing. I'm trying to figure out, okay, what do people need? What do people want? So for now, what I do is I go download the YouTube video transcription. Now, this can be the Google, YouTube, AI generated like automatic transcription. So now YouTube, they're really trying to push to have, because it's so cheap and easy to do, with AI, and it's kind of a good way to dog food, to like test their own AI ability. They're going through and they're like adding automatic AI generated subtitles to everything. And now they're experimenting with doing dubbing. So like, let's say you're watching a podcast and your language is Turkish or something. You can dub it and it actually has the voice and it tries to match their lips. Pretty wild shit. So, but for now they're starting with auto transcriptions in English because it also helps them train their model. Think about the billions and I don't know, it's probably like 1 trillion minutes of YouTube content. That is top tier material for their model. So with that in mind, I'm going and downloading that transcription. It will try to get the one if they added their own. So if you've never seen a subtitle file, it looks like this. It's pretty crazy because it wraps around like this exact time this word was said. So it's pretty ugly format. Can we collapse this? No. Okay. Oh, it does a weird scrolling thing. What the fuck? Oh, that's weird. Yeah, it tries to be clever. Okay. So what the output is that you can get the raw transcription. Maybe you want to do something with the transcription. Like if you're going to call this thing, it's going to be kind of expensive. So I want to give you everything you need. So it gets you the raw transcription. It gets you a minute. God damn, that scrolling thing is pissing me off. It gets you, and you can't collapse it. It gets you a minified one, like stripped down. So let's say you want to pass that transcription to something, another LLM. Let's say you want to do something without raw, just blob of text. You have that. And then here you get a summary. The speaker expresses frustration with Firefox's performance and increased issues despite attempts to use it for development work. They compare it unfavorably to other browsers like Chrome. Nevertheless, hope to improve. Yep, that's a pretty damn good summary, really. Key points: Firefox is criticized for performance, comparisons with other blah blah blah. This is great. That worked fantastically. So here's the other thing. Here's what I have it doing, which is goddamn expensive. So ChatGPT, they have not given me access to O3 or O3 Mini, which is cheaper and better. So I'm having to call O1, and even though they slashed the price, it's fucking expensive to make this call. Especially a really big transcription. It could take up to a minute for a huge video, and it could cost like up to 30 cents for this whole thing. So it's crazy expensive. So that's why I'm thinking about breaking it up into two. Have it go get the transcription, the minimization, and then doing the chapters as a secondary call. I don't know. Then it makes the chapters. So you know that little timestamps, in a YouTube video, sometimes you got to scroll through the comments and, you could click into the relevant, like you see the description and you click it and it jumps the video. It makes that. And it's pretty decent. I got it. I did mess with the prompt quite a bit, but it's pretty decent. Nostalgia and Firefox in school. Frustrations with Firefox's current state. Sponsor segment An app showcase. Yeah, you want to skip that one. Critique of Firefox usability. So this is fucking dope. It actually is working really well. Like I said, I'm a little surprised how well I got it working like so fast. But it's kind of a known problem. So think it through. I'm having the agent help me build this, and I'm having like, you know, multiple agents help me make a prompt to make the code. And YouTube is such a well-known problem that I'm not that surprised it was able to give me a prompt and give me, you know, it's such a well-known thing that I'm not too surprised I was able to hammer this out in a day and a half. Obviously, I had a little demo flub there in the beginning, but I just restarted this local server and it worked. I'm going to need to obviously test this in production, but it goddamn worked, and it goddamn worked really well. So I'm pretty stoked with that. The raw transcript is huge. So again, I'm not sure if I have 2 agents or 1. I want the pricing to be extremely transparent and extremely fair. And so I'm leaning more towards having a scaling price. Like, for example, like take this agent for example. You can pass a flag to like you have the passive flag in the options. Turn on chapter generation, and that will, so there'll be a sliding scale. Like if you don't do that, maybe it'll be one price, but then if you turn that on, the price goes up, because it's really expensive, and it makes it a lot slower doing the chapter generalization, because it has to like really think it through. It has to look at the transcript. It has to look at the raw transcript too, this ugly thing, not the like just minified. To get the summary, I get the raw transcript first, and then I minify it and just have here's text, summarize this text. Pretty easy. And then I give it guidance on how to do that, and you could set various parameters and the options. So I don't know. What do you think? Is this cool? Would you use this? Do you want to use this? Is this something you would need, like the chapter generation? One thing I'm dying for is feedback. I'm not getting any feedback, and it's killing me. I'm needy. I'm trying to build shit people want, and like I need people to tell me what they want. So that's my update. I'm going to continue working on this and hopefully get back to my workflow. And I'm going to drop this agent in there, hopefully today, because I'm really scrambling to get all this stuff automated. Let me just show you that really quick. So this is what I'm trying to get to. And I talked about this before. This was terrible. And that agent I just built is getting replaced with this. In this. So this is going to be replaced with that agent that I just showed. And it's going to get that result. It's going to dump that in here. And then it's going to post it on Blue Sky. And then it's going to post to Twitter. And then it's going to post an update to whip.co. So that's my update for today. I'm going to have more. I'm going to have to do more, but I'll get into that. I'll share that when I get to it. Hopefully this weekend. Moving on. All right. There are no comments for today again. Please. It helps so much if you can give me some feedback. On to my random story for the day. Speaking of Firefox. So I was from a tech family that always had like the latest technology, like very, very early on. We were always early adopters. I've talked about this before. And I remember when Firefox launched, IE, Internet Explorer, was the bane of all developers and most tech-savvy people's existence. And I remember using the thing before Firefox. I was a kid, you know, I was really young. I was like a teenager, but it's called Mozilla. It wasn't even called Firefox. And it was this big thing based on Netscape browser. Like, this is old school as hell. It was like this weird bloated Netscape looking thing that had like a calendar and had all this extra stuff built into it. It's pretty weird. It's pretty funky. Yeah, let's see it. I'm going to try to find it. But yeah, I remember when Firefox dropped. I was like, what is this thing? What is the point? God, what year was that? I'm going to go back to... Damn, so I could not find I couldn't find it on the Wayback Machine. That's so sad. It's so broken nowadays after their hack. Like, it's so heartbreaking. Yeah. So I was using this. I mean, this was like early 2000s. I was a teenager. This was on my big desktop computer in my room. I had my cool tricked out computer and the big old school monitor. And I remember when Firefox came out, and I just resisted because I was like, "What is this Fire?" I was like, "Why? This is so confusing. Why do they have a different?" Always the cynic. I was like, "Why do they have a different browser? Like with a different name? I don't understand. What's the point? Like Mozilla's great. Like why do we need this?" And then I switched to it, and I used Network for a very long time, like such a long, maybe until I resisted. A couple years after Chrome came out, and I preferred Mozilla over Chrome or Google, so I resisted Chrome for quite a while too. And then I eventually switched to Chrome. I was like, God, this is so much faster and better. And then at work, it was just easier. So I switched to Chrome for many years, and now I use Brave because I'm not on good terms with Google these days. So now I use Brave. I find Brave is... I wish the performance was better, but I love that they block so much. And they're refusing to switch to Google's new Chromium-based extensions work. They're fighting back on that, so you can still like block ads and do a lot of stuff. So nowadays I use Brave, but it's a shame. I loved Firefox. I wish they got their shit together. I would love to go back to Firefox, but yeah, I agree with that guy's video. Firefox, just Mozilla, it's hard to love. But yeah, it was such a great... Mozilla was and then Firefox was such a breath of fresh air back in the day, like 20 years ago, because you had IE, you had Microsoft, horrible Internet Explorer. So this takes me back. Mozilla, yeah, takes me back, and I would love to go back to Firefox one day. So, all right, that's all I got for today. See you tomorrow.